Hey fam, I want you to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications. He's a fraud. Donald Trump is a fraud. He is not an excellent businessman. The New York Times report shows that he was lying when he would go out there and say, oh, I'm going to go buy this company, and the stock would go up. Then all of a sudden, he would then cash out by causing it to go up. He didn't have the money. Banks in this country wouldn't lend him the money. Now, Deutsche Bank was really the only bank that was out there willing to give him the money. And all these white folks out there running around, oh yeah, time for us to have a businessman who is the president. First of all, let me remind y'all, George W. Bush was the first president with an MBA. How did that go? I thought so. It plunged us into a deep recession that was damn near close to a depression. And that's what President Barack Obama inherited when he took over, when he actually pulled us out of that funk and handed Donald Trump a pristine working economy, which he swears that he actually built and created, which he calls the greatest any president has ever done, ever, because he's the smartest. And Julian, this is, again, it was the narrative. Yeah. And the media helped create the narrative that he was this unbelievable smart guy.
You know, investigative reporters dropped the ball completely. There were every indication when he was running. I said, when he said he would not release his tax returns the first time because he was under audit. Under audit, you can still release the return. I mean, you filed the return, you can release it. There may be a problem with it, but you can release it. At that point, I said, this dude don't have no money. Excuse my ebonics. But I said, this dude doesn't have the money that people think he has. He has leverage. I mean, all these things with Trump on them, he doesn't own them. He's licensed his name. Right. So basically, he's 2 steps up from a hoe. I mean, licensed his name and not really actually done very much else. Then, well, let me not go there. I was about to start talking about Ivanka, but that wouldn't be nice.
I could do a lot with that. I'm glad you moved on.
But go finish. Go ahead.
The point here, Roland, at the end of the day is his financial vulnerability makes it easy for Russia to prey on him. That Deutsche Bank was the only bank that would lend him money, and that they pulled a plug on him at a point in time suggests that he was still borrowing money. Who was he borrowing it from, and under what terms, and what did he have to give up? And I would love to have been a fly on that wall with that conversation with Putin last week, because you know, you don't know.
But Scott and Michael, this is just the reality of what we are looking at here. If Americans got to see the tax returns, this is what they likely will see. They will see how he has manipulated this system, how he has claimed for multiple exemptions. We know for a fact that he suffered no damage to Mar-a-Lago when they had a hurricane in Florida, yet he applied for hurricane relief and got it. We know, I told you about the goats on the golf course in New Jersey. Literally, it's like 7 or 8 goats. That's in a pen on his golf course.
Keep the grass down.
No, they don't leave the pen.
Oh.
And he qualified, yes, for a farming tax exemption. What they will see is how many different exemptions he has grabbed and latched onto. But to read this New York Times report to say that his number was so high that literally only 3 other Americans in the country lost that much money, you know he's lying.
Right. If that. But your prior guest, and I guess where we are right now, think of this, right? This is about his ego more than anything. The amount of money he's worth and the narrative.
His ego should have kept him out the race.
Probably, but he's in it and he won it. The reality is, or allegedly won it, but the reality is this. Let's say you got the tax returns. And the tax returns showed that he was worth $1 million, or let's say $100 million, right? With this 42% and the 98% approval of the Republicans, would he lose that if reality came forth? If you released his tax returns, would they stop supporting him?
No.
They would not.
No, but the issue has...
And just like the media continues to support him in the way you just described negatively, is because they know he's lying, but it makes good copy.
No. Not that it makes good copy. It makes them a ton of money. And here's the piece here, Michael. The piece here is not the 98% of Republicans supporting him. That's not the issue. He can't win just with them. The problem are the independent voters and those disaffected Democratic voters. That's how. And if the truth is revealed that he's a liar and a fraud and is not a billionaire, then you just took away the most important thing as to why people thought, oh, why we should put him in there. Michael, your thoughts.
Really.
1 second, Michael.
Not really.
And I find it interesting that his supposed brand is luxury. But when this is all over, I don't know how the people that support him will be able to afford his luxury items, because there are certain demographic groups.
They can't walk through the Trump Hotel in D.C. right now.
So that's why people are taking names off of their hotels, and I don't know where he's going to get the income when they're done. And plus, as Julianne said, and I know Scott mentioned it, how he tallies his number is if his name is on a building, he puts the worth of the building on his bottom line, like that's his building.
Right, even though it was a licensing deal.
Correct, and he does the math.
And again, we already have the evidence where he has manipulated the numbers, where for the purpose of getting a loan, he said, oh, my golf course in Scotland is worth and generates this. But then it was time for him to be taxed. Oh, no, the golf course is worth $5.
Right.
And so right there, we already got the evidence where the guy's going to lie about it. And he is going to go to the mat, and he is going to take this tax deal all the way to the Supreme Court. And there was a segment today.
Here's Supreme Court.
But here's the deal. There was a segment today that was on Fox Outnumbered, which was beyond laughable. I really thought it was a Comedy Central segment, where they had that idiot Mike Huckabee, with the lying daughter, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, and all of them on the show saying how disastrous it would be if the story was no, it really was funny, because they literally said it would be disastrous if he releases his taxes. Because people will be looking all over, and they would be looking at this LLC and chasing things. All these folks on Fox were arguing why he shouldn't do it. Do you actually believe that if Hillary Clinton or any Democrat just was this obstinate about not releasing their taxes, they would be like, no issues, no issues.
Right.
That's why I keep saying, Fox News, Republican Party, all of them. This is about power. Most of them, they hate his guts. They know he lying. Right. Y'all know
But
that.
they're benefiting. But Roland,
That's the point.
Benefiting. I mean, when democracy dies, who benefits in a predatory capitalist system? The predatory capitalists. So even though these people wouldn't have dinner with him, can't stand him, they basically see their profits rising. You see the stock market rising until he started fooling with Chinese tariffs. That's another story. But you see people benefiting. And so people are benefiting, and they'll just ignore all his ignorance, his crudeness, his lies, his perfidy. They ignore all of that because they know that they're making money.
Roland Martin Unfiltered. Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.